The Taming of the Shrew is the third episode of the third season of Wings. This is directed by Andy Ackerman, and as always, there will be spoilers from now as I talk about the episode. I actually don't really have that many notes on this one sometimes with Wings. I will go through the episode almost scene by scene, but with this one, I didn't really do that, but that's not because I didn't enjoy it. It's just because I didn't. I don't really have an excuse. But that being said, I did enjoy this one. This one focuses on Helen. And the fact that there needs to be an intervention because Brian, Lowell, Roy, Faye, and Antonio as well. It's nice to have Antonio a little bit more involved. He's appeared a few times recently, but it's nice to have him almost brought in as one of the gang. And they're telling Helen that she's not really dealing very well with the fact that Joe has a girlfriend. We see Joe and Gail going out at the beginning, and Helen is really annoyed by this. Does she have the right to be annoyed? Well, this is something Helen needs to work through, and she ends up going to this support group, and actually Brian gets some support while he's there, which I thought was pretty great. And they do a bit of role play with Helen where she has to pretend to talk to Joe about how she's really feeling, and she finally realizes why she's been responding the way she has. And it's kind of twofold, and this is a spoiler as I explain what she finds out, but I thought this was really interesting because I believed, as Helen believed, that she was annoyed that Joe had found another girlfriend. But it turns out that Helen is actually annoyed because she feels like she's lost her best friend. And that's the main reason for it. But the other reason she's annoyed is because she's not had the emotional support she usually does. And that's because when she needs emotional support, she usually turns to Joe. So not only is the absence of Joe in her life causing her emotional problems, but the outlet for her emotional problems to work through them has also gone from her life. So it's kind of a double whammy. And I thought that was so fascinating. And we have this lovely scene in the office where Helen confronts Joe and explains this, and it's a beautiful, beautiful moment. And then we get some fabulous, unexpected comedy because Joe actually accidentally drives Helen's Jeep through his office. This is the third time in as many episodes, just about, that his office has been demolished. Is it overkill? Yes, I think it is. But at the same time, I didn't see it coming. I couldn't remember it from the first time I watched this episode, so that was definitely a surprise. And honestly, I rather enjoyed it. So if one wants to argue that it was maybe one time too many, I can definitely see that. But at the same time, it was a surprise, and I do think it worked quite well. So The Taming of the Shrew is a great episode. I think we did have to have some progress with Helen and her emotions. We couldn't really go on for too long with her clinging on to this negativity, this anger, this heartache, whatever it is that she's feeling. So I think the pacing of that part of the storyline was very effectively done. I love the fact that everybody else was there to support her and help her and encourage her to talk this through with somebody, and it's just beautifully done and also funny as well. So no complaints from me. The Taming of the Shrew is a brilliant episode. We have some brilliant progress for Helen, and ultimately I think it's a pretty decent episode.